Welcome to a fire-roasted new episode of the Demonic Compendium, the show where I discuss the mythology, design, and game history of your favorite Megami Tensei demons. Now that we're slipping into November and many Americans are getting ready to bring a big old bird to the table for dinner, I figured I'd do my part as well. So cut up some onions and grab the gravy because today we're talking about Onmoraki. Onmoraki are a type of yokai from Japanese mythology. They are described as birds with the face of a human being, and are born when a person dies and their corpse isn't given the right amount of memorial services, like prayers, purification rites, a proper burial, or having their ashes dumped into the water at Disney's Splash Mountain. Sometimes the Onmoraki are described as large black cranes, and other times they're described as... well, we'll get to that in the design segment of this video. As a yokai, Onmoraki do have a preferred haunting ground and even a preferred type of victim for their supernatural shenanigans. They typically inhabit temples and are known to haunt Buddhist monks that avoid their responsibilities or are caught sleeping on the job. Punishments from the Onmoraki can vary from simply spooking the monk by calling out to them using the monk's own voice, to chanting a specific sutra that will actually prohibit the monk from reaching enlightenment. They can also spit fire because they can. They just have that ability. While not one of the most iconic yokai out there, they have made their way into pop culture as well, appearing in several Japanese mythology-inspired games, such as Nioh, Yokai Watch, and even showing up in Yu-Gi-Oh! But I'd argue no game appearance of these little birdies are as iconic as they are in Megaten. Onmoraki's Compendium entry from Persona 5 refers to them as a monstrous fire-spitting Japanese bird with a man's face. It is actually a corpse that was not given a proper memorial service. They appear before monks who neglect their duties. Design-wise, Kaneko's Onmoraki may look like a bit of a joke at first. Its bird body obviously just looks like a roasted chicken, which hardly matches the descriptions of some sources claiming these things are large, terrifying black cranes, right? Well, there is a very specific reason for this crispy-skinned caricature, and it goes all the way back to the 18th century with legendary scholar, poet, and artist Toriyama Sekion. If you've ever seen any artwork of Japanese yokai, chances are good you've probably seen some of Toriyama's work, as he not only has a very distinct style, but is often seen as the one who first brought many of these legends and stories into a visible medium. It was specifically his Onmoraki artwork that showcased the demon in a more comedic light, with a mostly plucked body and just an overall goofier aesthetic, that many future artists, Kaneko included, kept in their own versions of the Onmoraki. Also, I always thought Kaneko's Onmoraki looked like it had an onion for a head to go with the roast chicken thing, but it's possible the peculiar shape of it also stems from Toriyama's work, or maybe more in reference to Onibi or Hitodama, Japanese souls of the dead. But I'm sticking with it being an onion, because that's funny to me. Onmoraki also has a Devil Children design where it appears as a small bird with a surprisingly bird-looking face. It just looks like a bird. A cute little bird at that. I guess that the face has a slightly more flesh color to it, but it's just a bird. As far as game history goes, Onmoraki is weak. Like Poltergeist in the previous episode, they're a very low-level demon, generally being under level 10. A special Onmoraki, known as the Heaven-Piercing Onmoraki, exists in Shin Megami Tensei Imagine at level 19, and I'm just sharing that because I find that name hilarious. Onmoraki are also fought in the virtual battle training missions in that game as a tutorial for using magic, as these special Onmoraki are immune to all attacks except fire. Onmoraki does have a small role in Devil Children Fire and Ice Book, which I'd totally be showing you right now if those games had ever been localized. He appears as a boss fight in Fire Book, where Jin must fight him outside of the Time's Edge. Onmoraki can also be obtained as an ally in Ice Book as a reward for Wartech's quiz game. Onmoraki's largest role in the franchise is probably Persona 5 of all things, where the shadow versions are called Corpse Bird, in a direct reference to their origins. In the Mementos mission, Phantom Thieves vs. Burglary Ring, the character Kazuya Makigami summons an Onmoraki by his side during the fight, which is quite a bit stronger than a normal one, but not by much. It doesn't attack directly, instead relying on using Spirit Drain in order to leech SP from the party. One final note about Onmoraki in the Persona series that I find interesting is that while Onmoraki doesn't appear in either of the Persona 2 titles, we do see it popping up in the manga Persona Sumitobatsu, a spin-off from the Persona 2 duology. I also want to mention that Onmoraki appears in Shin Megami Tensei Synchronicity Prologue as an enemy. Doesn't do anything special, I just wanted to mention it. And so there you have it, Onmoraki, the plucked and plucky, pious poltergeist poultry peppered with paprika. Did I leave out something you thought was important? Was I just plain wrong about something? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to let me know who you'd like to see me talk about in future episodes. That's going to do it for this episode of the Demonic Compendium, and I'll see you next time. But be careful while you rest that a demon doesn't take over your body.